The Jets are moving on from Aaron Rodgers, and there's not too many destinations for him. You know, with how the situation panned out with the Jets, how ugly it got, you know, what he does with the media, him going on the Pat McAfee show, the attention he draws to himself, the type of leader he is, how his image is looking now, he's not, you know, garnishing a lot of interest. And if he wants to continue playing, and if he wants to repair that image and wants, you know, restore his legacy and help, you know, end on a good note, I think the best fit for Rodgers is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whether that's the best decision for the Steelers, I don't know. It's not the worst. Rodgers, you look at the season he had last year with the Jets, not the worst season from a quarterback. This is honestly one of the better seasons for the Jets, for a Jets quarterback. And you look at the season as it pertains to a Steelers quarterback, this is one of the better seasons. You'll take that season 10 times out of 10 from a quarterback stats-wise. 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, almost 3,900 yards passing. So a lot that played into, you know, the Jets situation not working out was, you know, Rodgers being in control of everything. Rodgers, you know, calling the shots. Rodgers bringing in the offensive coordinator he wants. Nathaniel Hackett, Robert Saleh, you know, getting fired. That, you know, probably a lot of that was due to Rodgers. Bringing in all his buddies in, Devontae Adams, you know, Lazard, all these players he brought in. All the false hope, calling players out for losses, blaming people, all the stuff that he was doing over there was because of how much control, how much power he had with that organization. With the Steelers, that's not going to be the case. Mike Tomlin, this culture, everything, the structure is already set. Aaron Rodgers just got to show up and play to the level we know he can. He showed flashes with the Jets. He had some good performances. There were some moments where you're like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, this is the Aaron Rodgers we know. This is the Aaron Rodgers we love. With the Steelers, playing with Mike Tomlin, a coach that gets the most out of all the players he has, gets the most out of the roster he is given. Unfortunately, he and the Steelers come back to reality when they play them elite quarterbacks, when they play Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, when they play teams that have that elite quarterback, elite coach, when their roster goes up against a better roster. You see, you know, things go downhill. And that's what it kind of did with Russell Wilson. You saw Russell Wilson was playing at a high level, and then towards, you know, the end of the season, they lost, you know, 3 games in a row. Russell Wilson was, you know, a pumpkin once again. You were seeing the Steelers offense miss that spark, and just, you know, the same story continue happening. Now, Rodgers, obviously, I think he would be an upgrade over Russell Wilson, even at, you know, his age and what we saw from him with the Jets. Coming into a team with structure and a culture that's already set, playing with Mike Tomlin, is going to get the most out of Rodgers. We'll see the best version of Rodgers. We'll see a better version of Rodgers than we did with the Jets, because he's coming into a team with an elite defense, a good run game, a great coach, a Hall of Fame coach. So I think what we were expecting to see with Rodgers on the Jets, I think we'll see that with the Steelers because it's a better situation. Unfortunately for the Steelers, they're never going to be in position to take a quarterback early to, you know, get that franchise-changing quarterback. They're always going to be in the mix for that old savvy veteran, take a flyer on one of those kind of guys. So that's why I see this Aaron Rodgers situation happening. Justin Fields is garnishing a lot of interest. Russell Wilson, you're probably not going to be able to afford him to bring him back, and you probably won't want to. What happened with last season? So looking at Rodgers, bringing him in to Pittsburgh, it wouldn't be like the best decision for the future. I think this is a 1 year or 2 year kind of move. But the Steelers, they feel like they are ready to win a championship. They feel like they have the roster. They feel like they have everything in place but quarterback. And if you could get a quarterback that can help you maximize your window of like players like Cam Hayward, some of these older players on this roster, you might as well take that shot. And Mike Tomlin, I don't know how many more years the Steelers are going to be okay with him, you know, getting killed and blown out in the playoffs, barely being 10-7 and all that. So I like Rodgers to the Steelers. I think that's the best destination for him. I think him, George Pickens, Jalen Warren, addressing the quarterback position, bringing him in, that allows you to do what you need to do at the other positions. Maybe Devontae Adams follows him to Pittsburgh. That would be really nice. That duo, that connection was connecting at a high level later on in the season. Devontae Adams finished with 1,000 yards. It seemed like, you know, he wasn't going to have a lot of success with, you know, the Raiders situation. So sending him to the Jets, we saw him play at a high level back with his quarterback. So defensively, I still think they need to add some more pieces. The secondary needs to get better, so they address that in the draft and free agency. And yeah, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be the worst thing the Steelers could do at the quarterback position. Would I advise it? No, because I feel like the future, it's just a band-aid for the next 1 or 2 years. It's not a guarantee you win a Super Bowl with Rodgers. The Steelers might feel like they have a better chance with Rodgers than Justin Fields or, Russell Wilson. Who knows? I'm not in charge of the Steelers, but like I said, I don't think this would be the worst move the Steelers could do, but I also don't think it's the best move that they can do. I think it's just a very likely scenario, and it's the best move for Rodgers to make for his career if he wants to continue playing 1 or 2 more seasons left. Other destinations, I think the Colts, I think the Titans. The Colts right now, there's rumors coming out that they want to add a veteran to compete with Anthony Richardson. It doesn't seem they're as confident in Anthony Richardson being their guy long term and being their guy moving forward. They want to spice some things up, and they've been a team that's also gone after those veteran quarterbacks, Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers. So Aaron Rodgers could be another guy added to the list of that. And Tennessee, they don't want to take a young quarterback. Tennessee, they want to take a generational player. It seems like they're going to take Hunter. They're going to take Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. It would make sense. So I could see them taking a chance at Aaron Rodgers, getting a quarterback just for them to be competitive until Arch Manning, until one of these other quarterbacks come out of the draft, and the draft class for quarterbacks is a lot better. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.